Hello, welcome to our first segment of our Friday show of AWS On Air. Welcome to the show, Yan. Thank you. Why don't you quick introduce yourself and what you do at AWS and let the folks know who you are.
Sure. Hi, everyone. This is Yan from AWS. I have been AWS for 4.5 years already, and my title is Senior Generative AI Data Scientist. And maybe you get curious, my daily job is to use these, smart models to create fancy applications.
Very cool. So today, data scientist. That's a pretty cool title. I aspire to be a scientist, but I don't know that I'm smart enough to be able to do that. But Yan,
Hopefully.
so when you say data scientist, you're working with Gen AI models. That's pretty much what you're doing most of the day.
Yeah,
Is there a
basically.
is there a particular team or service you work with the most?
Well, actually, a lot. Like I'm from Amazon Bedrock team, so we work with multiple models, foundation models like image models, text models, or even more.
Cool. Yeah, we've had a lot of show content about Bedrock, and every day they're coming up with something new and launching something cool and making it cooler and cooler. But like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, this is the first time I get to see some image generation and maybe help us understand the difference between text generation. Where are the overlaps here? I know we're still talking prompts. We're still talking some of the I don't know where are we at with image generation versus text generation.
Sure. So actually, if we just take it simple, so image generation means you give text input and image output versus text model is normally you give text input and text output. But if we talk about use case based, normally text-based model can do something more help you interpret text, right? And do something like classification, do something even more like code generation. But with image model, we're trying to be more creative here, help you generate more image based and have more image based applications. Yeah.
So, Yan,
Mhm.
for anybody new to the Amazon Titan line of models, I've used a couple of them. I've used the embeddings model that's out there. There's a text model out there, and we're here to talk about the image generation model. This is V2, right? We're talking about the launch of V2.
Yeah.
How is it different? What are the improvements from V2 as compared to V1?
Sure. Thanks, AM. I'm really glad you bring it up. So basically, Titan Image Generator, as the name tells, it's a model to generate images, right? And with V1, actually, we already have a lot of fancy features. We can do text to image, which is the most fundamental but the key feature. But on top of that, we also allow people to do in painting, which means you provide a mask and we can edit and reconstruct everything, inside that mask, or out painting, which means we construct everything outside that mask. Basically, you can do, image expansion or even change your background. But all these features are supported with V2. But on top of that, we actually allow you to do more control, have more control this time about the image you generate. So previously, you can only generate image based on your text prompt. But this time, we allow you to do something like image conditioning. So in addition to your text prompt, you also provide a reference image. And the model will learn from your reference image and generate the image from using same layout and components, to generate your image. And we also have features like color plating. And this is very unique feature. So basically, you provide a hex code, and it will basically use the hex code you provide to generate images. And this time we'll also allow some new feature like background removal. So customer just need to provide a image, and we will help them to extract the object out from the image and without those backgrounds.
That's
And
really cool. That's
yeah,
really cool. Yeah. And I think, I don't have a graphics background, but I'm often in need of graphics for like creating thumbnails of content that I make and things like that. And, I've spent a lot of time learning some of these graphic programs, and some of them can be very complex, but it sounds like you can use some of the features here in Titan Image Generator V2 without having to learn like how to go and do masking or how to go and just do background removal. It just takes care of it for you, right? So it kind of
exactly.
augments like your abilities as a graphics designer. Is that the type of use cases and things that you're seeing people use this to do?
Yeah, actually, I would say, it is a model for everyone, basically. Everyone who is interested in creating, new images. But I can also think about some industry or some professions that are being benefited by this by this model. So one thing I can probably name is about, for example, marketing campaign. So you can generate images, for certain product. And I can also think about something like for real estate. So basically, if you want to do virtual staging and you have a certain layout that you want to provide to the model, and with the image conditioning feature, it will be able to generate image based on the layout you provide. So it is super cool, right?
That was really cool.
I think it's really cool. I tell you one thing that you just mentioned that I'm really excited about: background removal. Something that you would think would be like an easy thing to do. I've downloaded Photoshop and some of these other GIMP and these other, and I am terrible at removing. Maybe it's just because I don't know how to use the tool, but I often find myself needing to remove a background and just isolate some aspect of an image. So I'm really excited to kind of see that one in action. And I love that you got into some of the use cases. We talked about marketing materials, designing. I was a developer for a long time. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent in stock image libraries trying to find it's not a big thing, but I'm so picky about it. So I have some questions. Maybe we should get into the demo because I think they're more contextual in what we're going to see in the demo. Should we bring up your screen and kind of see what we're talking about?
Sure, I'm excited for that. But by the way, I will be facing this direction, Todd and AM, because my screen is here. So please don't get upset with me on this.
Hey, we'll bring it back. You got a massive screen, I can tell already. So you look at that screen as much as you need to, and we'll make sure that we bring you back.
Sure, thank you. So I'm actually planning to present this one based on a use case. So let's assume we are from a company called Oak Tank, and this company is a premium dog food company. And the features we plan to use in this workshop is actually to do four things. First is to do the basic text to image one. So we will try to create a symbolic dog image for Oak Tank.
And before we get too far into the use case, what are we looking at right here? I see Jupyter up in the left-hand corner. I see this big long URL. For folks who might not be familiar with this interface, what service or interface are we using here at AWS?
Sure, I'm using the SageMaker notebook. It's a native service that can do this. This notebook is very interactive, very helpful for most data scientists.
Oh, cool. So you can go into an AWS account today, launch SageMaker. I know we have a number of services under SageMaker, but Quick Start's a good place to start, or Jumpstart's a good place to start. You can launch a Jupyter notebook of your own and then start running through this code. Okay, so I'm in the right spot. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. We're going to do some text image.
Yeah, no problem. So we can do text to image, and we will also cover the image conditioning like we just introduced. And we also will go over the color conditioning. Basically, you just provide the hash code to the model. And lastly, we were going to do the background removal, like you get super excited about. So before we start, let's just do some setup. Since we're using Python here, so we will need to import several libraries, have the Boto3 here, to run the Bedrock runtime. This is the API we're going to call. And we also define some utility function. This is just my plot function. So I definitely believe you can do something better than me, but yeah, this is a plot function I'm going to use here. So let's dive deep here. The first use case we're going to cover is text to image. So let's provide a simple, prompt to the model. The prompt I'm going to give is generate a photo of a happy and healthy American Eskimo sitting on the grass with a football full of kibble nearby. And I can optionally provide some negative prompts. This is optional, but since I don't really want to have low resolution or low quality image, so I will just tell the model, okay, don't give me this thing, low resolution or low quality stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
let's pause there.
I specify to the model, I want to do text to image task here.
Yeah, sure. You said something new. I just want to slow down just a minute. You said prompt, and then you said negative prompt. I've never heard the term negative prompt. What's the difference between a prompt and a negative prompt?
Mm-hmm. Sure, thanks, Todd, bringing it about. So basically, prompt is the things you want from the model, right? And negative prompt means the things you don't want the model to generate with. So this is optional. You can directly, you can. Mm-hmm. You don't have to provide it, but if you do, the model will try to. Yeah.
I think we might be experiencing some lag. This is what happens when you speak live on the internet on a Friday. Some bandwidth, but so we have the prompt. That's what we want. And I've always done maybe intuitively done negative prompting in my prompts, where I say explicitly in the prompt, I don't want this thing. But you're saying we can actually call out a negative prompt, say you don't want anything low resolution, low quality, exactly. And I can see how we can expand from there. Like, don't include this other type of dog or this kind of, okay, I got it.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. But just please make sure, like, since you are providing negative prompt, so tell the model like the things you don't want, but don't say, okay, don't include another don't here, just don't give it a double negative. Just make sure that. Yeah,
just like
and
in speaking English.
Yeah, and here are some parameters like the height, for the image, like we provide, and this is the way we call the API, the Bedrock API. And once we done that, ta-da! Here's the image we got, and here's the keyboard, the football we have for this cutie dog.
So I think
Sorry,
I love it.
One more image for dog. I know, I know you're upset about this.
It's amazing, Yan. I think one thing to call out real quick, for anybody who's new to Bedrock, who hasn't used Bedrock yet, I think it may seem obvious to us since we're familiar with it, but that model isn't anywhere near this SageMaker environment. That model is in Bedrock, right? So like you don't have to go worry about deploying the Titan image generator v2 model yourself, right? It's deployed through Bedrock, and then Bedrock surfaces up an API where you can send over prompts. Is that right?
Exactly. And since you mentioned like Bedrock is actually a serverless service, so basically you don't have to manage any infrastructure. You just need to call the API, and the model will return the result back to you.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And before I head into the next feature, I want to generate something like to cheer Todd up because I feel some low air here. Yeah. So let's generate a goat image. Let's do extreme sports action photo surfing, right? Anthropomorphic goat surfing, dramatic and cinematic. This is my prompt. And similarly, I keep everything the same. And let's see what it gives. You like it?
A goat surfing. First time I've ever seen a goat surfing. But yeah, I love the stylistic, the kind of, it's really action oriented. This looking right at the camera. That's pretty wild. Just from a
cinematic. It's definitely cinematic. It's not my first time seeing a goat. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Surfing.
That does look like a nice goat.
Oh, thanks.
Very, very clean. Much cleaner than the goats that I'm pushing around this 10 acres over here.
Super cool. Yeah, actually, and looking at this one, actually, I was thinking we have so many superheroes, right, these days. Why don't we have a goat man? Let's call it goat man. So I was asking the model if you can help me generate a superhero goat man surfing the board.
Go
and here we go. Yeah, we have a goat man.
I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with this. Todd, I know we've talked a lot about, we've got a lot of instruments in our backgrounds here. You got the guitars, I've got guitars and bass. I think this could be a good album cover for us if we ever, kick on the band.
I actually kind of like the name as a band, Goat Man. Like Goat. That's a great.
Yeah, you're doing amazing things for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this one. Okay, so without deviating our conversation too much, I'm going to then show the new feature, the image conditioning one. So let's bring the story back to our Optech.
And so what we just saw was a very basic prompt so you gave it a prompt, you said make this, and this is what it came up. Now we're going to get into a little bit more of the control features of those of that generation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and
cool.
These are the new features. Actually, the following features are all new features for V2 model specifically. So the image conditioning, we support two modes here. One mode is called Canny Edge. So Canny Edge means you can extract the edges from the reference images to generate your image. And we have another mode called segmentation. So segmentation can help you define, specific region or objects within the reference image to generate your image. So let's see, take some real example here. The first one, let's use the Canny Edge here. And we want to generate a cartoon dog with dog food in a fairy world. So you can imagine in a fairy world, a dog with dog food in a fairy world. And ta-da, here's the reference image I provide. It's from our previous conversation with the model. And this is the processed image. You can see it is preserving the layout, right? The edge, the dog is here in the center of the image, and the dog food is here. So it's actually following what we provide to the model. And another use case we can think about is like, okay, so Octank already have some commercial image. They like it. They like the layout, but they just want to generate with a different scene. So let's say we want to have a happy golden retriever dog loves his dog food during sunset time. And everything, let's keep everything else the same. So this is the reference image I have. It has the components of a happy dog, some dog food, a human in the background, and its house. And this is what we have in the generated image. So the golden retriever like we request, and some dog food, the human is here, also the background house. So basically it is preserving the layout as well as the components you provide through reference image and generate something based on your prompt.
Nice. So if there's something, so let's say I find an image. Let's say I find an image that's very close to what I want, but there's something just not right about it. So I can say, hey, this is pretty much what I want, but tweak this aspect of it, and then get back an image that's closer to maybe what I want aesthetically. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
One thing I'm thinking about through right now, too, for the audience. Number one, we're live. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. I love hanging out with you on Fridays, but drop your questions in chat if you have any. And we're going to have a question for you coming up. So I need you to start thinking about that now. I believe, Yan, we're going to let the audience maybe, if they're nice, remember, I'll remind the audience, positive vibes, everybody. That's it. That's all we accept here. But if they're nice, they can give us some prompts, and maybe we can work through creating some images with the help of chat. So start thinking about it now, chat. Sorry to interrupt Yan, but want them to get their thinking caps on.
Yeah, makes sense. So so let's maybe then talk about the color conditioning. That color conditioning we talk about. So this is assume like this is the branding color like Octank has. And there are yellow, the blue, and also the gray. So we want to generate our image using this color code. So we just need to provide the hex code for these three colors to the model and a prompt. The prompt is a happy American Eskimo runs in the blossom yard. This is my prompt. And with the hex code together, I'm going to use the task color guided generation. And let's see what it gives me. So this is the color code, and this is what we have. A happy dog, a yellow ground, and some blue background. You see, it is using the color code you provide and generates images based on it.
What's really impressive to me is that it also
what's even more better for this model is that you can also provide.
I was just gonna say, Yan. What's really impressive to me is that not only did it know like the color, applying the colors is very cool, but it also knew where to apply the colors to make a sensical image. Like it wouldn't have made sense if the dog was blue, right? So it made the fence blue and the dog is white. And so like not only does the image use the colors, but it makes sense. And this is where the marketing juices start flowing. It's like, okay, one of the first things you're doing in branding is coming up with that color composite. Like, what do you want the brand style to be early on? You might come up with a palette, and then you can roll with that palette into this and have a sensical image. So that's really impressive. That's cool. Sorry, I just wanted to mention that.
Sure. Thanks, Todd. Exactly. I agree with you. And one more thing we can do is to provide a reference image to this model. So you provided the color code already, right? And you provide another reference image, and the model will learn the reference image style and do a style transfer for you. So let's assume we use the same prompt with the same color code, but just with another reference image for a dog. And let's see. So here's the color code. I may be wrong. I'm totally not in that field, but this is what it gives me. So you see, it is not generating like a photorealistic photo this time. It's generating some like a paint, following this style, basically.
So, Yan, what? Sorry, I know it takes a second for the lag. The lag is causing some issues. But what can you use all of these features in combination? We saw the reference image, we saw the color palette. All of these new. It seems like all of these new features can be used in conjunction with one another.
So color conditioning can be used together with image, we call it instant customization feature.
Okay.
So it's not specifically the same as the image conditioning we were saying. So it's still a little bit different because you see, we are not learning the layout, right? The dog is not at the right place as this dog, but we are doing like instant customization together with color conditioning here. Yeah.
Interesting.
Thanks for bringing that
so
up.
it is a little different.
And before we get into the next, and before we get into the next feature, so Todd, I have one more thing for you. So assuming Octang now wants to open a new product line to produce goat food, and let's generate maybe a goat food, ad campaign for it. So let's have a goat riding surfboard still using this reference image and this color code. Let's see what we have. Ta-da! I really like this chubby goat.
Yeah, it's a chubby one. So it's the same thing compositionally. It's kind of painted. It's not photorealistic, but we're still sticking with a goat on a surfboard.
That's that Beyonce song, goat board.
Hey, we're starting to get some names too in the chat here. We've got Gotiski and Beelzebub. I don't know if that one's out there. Great food in tin cans, right? Or did cartoons lie to me? That's you, Aim?
Yes, I'm chatting to myself right now. Yes.
Perfect. So let's take a final look at the background removal feature. So it's super simple. You just provide a reference image. You provide an image here, like a dog food pack, and you just call the API with this image. You don't even need to feed in any prompt here. So this is what we gave, and this is what we get. So it is able to extract this dog food out, and you can see some challenging part like this shadow. Originally, it was super hard for the model to recognize the shadow, but now all the shadow are gone as well. So it is just replying you with this object you want.
Yeah, that is crisp.
So this is the background removal. Yeah, so I would like to maybe open up the prompt, the model with the audience, and let's probably try some prompt the audience has.
Yeah. Get those prompts in chat, y'all. If you want to see and influence what we do here, otherwise Todd and I are going to take it because.
How about for our Canadian friends? Let's see a goat playing hockey.
What would that team be called?
Maybe I can show you some pineapple pizza first, Todd and AM, because I heard we have great history about pineapple pizza. So we have a photo of a goat eating pizza with pineapple on it. So, we have the goat with the pineapple pizza. Yeah,
Goat looks happy about it.
Maybe not as sad as you want, but it is. Yeah, maybe she likes it. It's not that bad,
I can assure you, if you put a pineapple pizza in front of a goat, it will eat the pineapple pizza. There's no doubt about it. I often am fending myself just from it will try to eat my shorts if I let it. It's a problem, really. But
is that scientifically proven through experiments you've conducted yourself? Todd?
Goats will eat anything. It's just a known fact of the world. They'll eat anything.
Specifically, the pineapple on pizza.
No.
So dropping. That's what I want.
So there's another. Even though they will eat anything, doesn't mean they should. And there's another half of that equation that is not great for us. Nobody wants a sick goat.
No.
I see a prompt here. Generate an image of a goat playing hockey. Let's paste it here. But before that, do we want to see one more goat photo? Just using the color code. Let's use the color plate. And here's what I get.
Wow.
I cannot enjoy this one.
Wait, is that goat taking a shower too?
The pineapple pizza is such a small one.
Goat with the arms up on the table.
Maybe.
That goat looks like
funny, right?
They've been lifting,
That's a jacked goat.
Yeah. Spend some time in the gym. So
let's use.
We got a question from chat, Yan Yan. They're asking, is this based off of a diffusion model, right? They're specifically calling out Stable Diffusion, which is a specific company bringing in a model and know this is the Amazon Titan image generator, but is behind the scenes the Titan image generator model a diffusion model?
Well, that's actually a good question. And I don't know if I can release this information. So let's maybe, and we have
Okay.
SME standby in the chat.
Yeah, well,
so
we'll
maybe we
say
can ask
we
him
can
about
answer
this.
in chat. Sounds good. Cool.
Okay.
We got
Sure,
a prompt, and we get a picture of a goat on the parallel bars, the Olympics
Sure.
gymnastics routine.
Oh, we have another one? Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. It takes it takes a second though, Yan. So we've got once we submit the prompt, it's gonna take a few seconds for the model to stitch together the okay.
Well,
So it's a little hard to have a goat holding a hockey stick, I can see.
yeah, how could I hold this hockey become a problem? Maybe, with the reference image is better. It will not generate a photo, but maybe a cartoon. I guess that might be a better, right? Like an animation style.
I like it. I like we're staying true to our promo on the socials this week. We said we were going to get into some goat content, and we really are hitting the goat content.
Yeah. So maybe one more. We could do the parallel bars.
Sure.
Doing a gymnastics routine on the parallel bars.
Sure. Let's see it.
Nick is allowing us to end with that. He's very generous. I have to shout out our producer, Nick.
Thanks,
very
Nick.
generous. All right. And as we wrap up, maybe we could get some of those. Oh, wow. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. As we wrap up, Yan, this model is available in Bedrock. People can go start using it today. Is that what you recommend? Just go in there and start using it?
Yeah, sure, definitely. And we also have a GitHub sample available. We have all the code samples available there. So please check it out.
Very nice. Thank you for joining us today, Yan. You have helped us further goat memes in the internet, which is a very important goal for us. So thank you.
Thank you for having me here. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you next time.